which way so you don't get confused here.
Yes, please.
Because I know Mom would be super car sick.
Long Lake Road.
Left here or straight?
I'll go straight. That's what it'll change. Don't worry about it. If that's okay with you. Long Lake's faster.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left onto Lone Pine Road.
Just go straight. GPS. Jeez. It'll change though.
Here at the Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook.
It'll change, don't worry.
Pro Football Futures Market, NFC South odds. Tampa the favorite, despite the greatest quarterback of all time retiring. Tampa plus 140. New Orleans with the new head coach without a quarterback right now, plus 275. Carolina with needs to improve its quarterback situation at plus 350. Atlanta with the best quarterback in the division, I guess, who's a brutal at this point in his career at 4-1. If I had to take a shot on any one of these teams, it would be Carolina. I think Carolina's going to be really aggressive about upgrading the quarterback position here. And Carolina's got some good young pieces on defense. So if I had to bet this now, I'd take a look at Carolina sitting at plus 350. That's it for this Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Check out the latest lines today at BetRivers.com. I'm Nick Costos. Keep it locked here for more throughout the day. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
I am Rose, and I am human. Goal-oriented, conscientious, driven. Flagstar Bank is interested in me because Flagstar is driven by something called the human interest rate, which inspires Flagstar to create personalized saving solutions made for humans like me and everyone, which may be why Go Banking rates named them one of the top 100 banks. Flagstar Bank, the power of the human interest rate. Learn more at flagstar.com/savings. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The boats are back at the Progressive Novi Boat Show. The most boats you'll find in one location anywhere this season. There's a boat for your adventures and budget. Cruisers, ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, plus accessories and gear. Find your first boat or your next. Go nuts over Twiggy the Water Skiing Squirrel. March 10th through 13th, Suburban Collection Showplace. Tickets and details at noviboatshow.net.
Well, you just saw the forecast, Detroit. It's another cold one, and more on the way. If you're ready to trade in that winter coat and boots for a t-shirt and flip-flops, make plans to head down to Lakeland, Florida, where it's warm and sunny all year round. There's Legoland Florida Resort
Turn
and
left
Safari
onto
Wilderness
Walking
Ranch,
Forest Drive.
as well as
Then
beautiful
turn
gardens
left
to
onto
explore.
Walking Lake
Or
Drive
you can
South.
get out on the lakes, maybe go for a hike. Plus, all that good food. Florida's sweetest spot is calling. Go to visitcentralflorida.com to plan your trip.
Creamy nut butter makes it delightfully sweet. Roasted nuts make it perfectly salty. Get 2 great tastes in one delicious bar. Enjoy a Nature Valley sweet and salty nut bar today.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
Turn left onto Lone Pine Road.
watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand
One
favorites
thing,
together.
I'll plug the iPad in so it's not going dead all by the end of the day.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on-demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together
In
at
1 mile, turn
DirecTV.com.
left onto Franklin Road.
Great, it will change.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Michael Pearl National Benefit Plans. Call 877-734-2200.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
Got her plugged in.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
At the next light, turn left.
Stoney and Jansen program on Friday, 248-539-9797. Pistons home with the Indiana Pacers tonight at the LCA. They win last night over Toronto, 108-106. Wings in Tampa tonight, taking on the Lightning. I don't know if you saw this, guys. Something
No,
very
not
rare.
for
I
the
can't
Queen
remember
Bee.
seeing ever. Well, not
What's that?
ever. Have you seen an NHL coach get kicked out of a game?
NHL coach?
Jeez, I'll be old here.
Yep.
The Jim
Brophy and Demers.
You know.
Yeah.
No, that's way back in the 80s.
Well, yeah. Well, I remember Robbie Fatorik when he coached the Devils at Joe Louis Arena threw a bench on the ice. Remember
At the
that?
light, turn left onto Franklin
Jacques
Road.
Demers and John Brophy had the Red Wings Toronto in the late 80s. That rivalry. But it was weird. But he didn't do it. I mean, he was just arguing with the ref, and they tossed him. That was kind of bizarre. Anyway, talking college basketball, and a horrible night locally. Not only did Michigan State put to bed, but our Horizon League buddies are gone as well. U of D loses to Northern Kentucky on the road, 77-59. And say goodbye to the Golden Grizzlies as Wright State beats them 75-63. The Grizzlies had like a 14-point lead at one point. They were up big at the half, and I really wasn't paying that close attention. And I was watching the Michigan game, and I got a text, and I looked at it says from Evan. I said, "Oh my God, Oakland must have lost because why else would Evan be texting?" And so, yep, that's exactly what he said.
Well, Evan's not alone here at the station, apparently.
Oh, Kenny Cott can't stand it. Kenny Cott is
outraged towards Greg Campy.
At Kenny Cott. Thanks, Campy. That's what he tweeted last night.
What'd he say?
Thanks, Campy.
Yeah. Well, Kenny Cott's an alum, so obviously he follows it a lot closer than many non-alum OU guys. I think part of the, disdain that Evan has, and I don't know if it's different from Kenny's, is because Campy gets a lot of, publicity, does a lot of, radio and TV. He's a really good guy. We all like him. But my whole point, whether that much, whether it should be fired or not, is it's open. That's my answer, and maybe that's putting them down. But you look, and they haven't been to an NCAA tournament in a long time. He hasn't been to the NCAA tournament since 2011.
Well, in general, come on, what are we talking about here? That
right, I know. Exactly, that's my point. He's done a really good job. But if you're a fan of the school, that you want basically in every year, except there might be an exception I don't know about, you have to win that tournament to get in. It's disappointing, but they won 20 games this year. Most of the years he's had really good records, good teams. They've underachieved when it matters the most. There's no doubt about that. That cannot be argued. And for those OU diehards like Kenny Cott, they think it's enough. He's been there over 20 years. I mean, I think he's behind Krzyzewski and Boeheim as guys who's been at one school the longest. I mean, Krzyzewski's ending this year.
Yeah. So it'll be him and Boeheim.
Anyway, with all due respect to the Golden Grizzlies and the Titans, to the schools that matter, Michigan and Michigan. It's hard for me to say because I went to a small school and our season ended yesterday too. At least in the American League. So anyway, Michigan State. Who should be in if? Let's say they both lose in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. First of all, I don't think Michigan State's going to lose to Maryland. But in our hypothetical world, it's a tough case because Michigan State's playing bad. I think Michigan State's a little better team than Michigan, but not by much.
At the next light, turn right.
What's disappointing the most to me, somebody who roots for the Spartans, is they just don't play with the fire anymore consistently. Like the Tom Izzo teams always did. I mean, there might be a talent issue as well, but they just don't play hard all the time. And that's the calling card of Michigan State. And, that's what really sucks for me.
Well,
what team am I watching? If you take Spartan jerseys off them,
at the light, turn right onto Lasser Road.
You might be able to tolerate it more, but it says Michigan State on there. And that's not the type of team you expect out of that.
No, but they also don't have that difference maker at the guard position. That's, I think, the biggest thing right now. And are they just worn down? And the question is the style of coaching that they face and the lack of leadership right now amongst the athletes, is that just been a combination of, hey, at this time of the year, because you brought it up on, was it Tuesday night when they played Michigan, that they just looked lethargic, looked like they weren't up for a big game. And when you lose 7 of 9 to end the season, have they just been worn down? Not just physically, but
in
mentally
1.1
and emotionally.
miles, turn right onto Cranbrook Road.
You've heard all these things that he's been, according to him, a little softer on this team than he has other teams in the past.
Well, yes, according to him, sure, but according to the players, it may be, and maybe he is compared to what he normally is, but each team is different, and this team might just be, as he's kind of said, there's just not that leadership there. Maybe they're just not as mentally tough as he needs them to be.
Cassius Winston was special. Going back to Team Cleats, special. They had a lot of, Draymond Green, special. Those type of guys who, on the floor and off the floor, you can see were, leaders. They don't have that right now, and maybe a team like that that's less talented than previous teams needs it more. You have some text there, John?
I'm curious, do you think any Michigan State fans, well, of course there's some,
in half a mile, turn right
maybe a
onto
growing
Cranbrook
amount
Road.
that are kind of done with Izzo?
Yes, there are some. Absolutely. I mean,
I'm not trying to take anything away from what he's done.
What, 68 years old, I believe?
6:30 last night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does he want to coach for 2 more years? Does 70 keep going? I don't know. Look, I've always thought that the style of play might have hindered them a little bit, but he wants them to run. The problem is when they get bogged down, they can't do anything offensively, and their outside shooting has not been that good. Gabe Brown was too inconsistent, and there's not enough options offensively when they have to go half court. Now, some of that is him, obviously. Some of that the players he recruited, and some of it's on the players themselves.
Turn right onto Cranbrook Road.
Look, who knows? I think in the next 2 or 3 years he's going to be done. It's, why?
Well, you ask why, but you also ask, at some point,
turn right onto Woodward
Michigan
Avenue.
State's never going to ask him to move on, but for his legacy, he needs to figure out who it is that's going to follow him. And if that opportunity presents itself after next year, or if it's after year 2 or 3 from now, I really think that starts to have a factor for Coach Izzo, because it's not about, I don't want to run this thing all the way until there's nothing left. There's no gas in the tank. We're not recruiting the same players. We're not getting the same production. But I also want to make sure that when, if I'm him, if I have the opportunity to pick who's next, to continue the legacy that I've built, over 25 years, that could play into it as well. Who's available? Who does he want to be that guy?
But what are they going to do? Is he going to go to the athletic director at House and say, listen, I know if I want to succeed, and Howard's going to say, no, and Izzo's all right, then I quit now? I mean, who's that? I mean, the popular pick to be the next head coach is not anybody that's on that bench right now. It's, we talked about them earlier. It's Loyola Chicago, Drew Valentine in his first year, Benzo Pro, who obviously did some assistant coaching at other schools like Oakland, and I think he was on Michigan State as a grad assistant 1 year or two or something like that. But I think that's the next in waiting, so to speak, and he's not even on the staff.
Right, so, but he doesn't have to be on the staff.
No, I understand that. I don't know if that's the succession plan that they have.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he deserves to do it, but if they don't want to, if they want to take a nationwide search and go get somebody who they think is better than, Drew Valentine or anybody else that Izzo would suggest, I think they're going to do that. I don't think they owe it to Tom Izzo for let him select his replacement.
No, I don't think he should be selecting it, but I think he should have a voice in it.
Oh, of course. He should have an opinion. All right, 248-539-9797. That is the telephone number and the number for Ticket Text. We'll get to some Ticket Text coming up after this. Also, we do have to discuss the big problem.
In 3/4 of a mile, make a U-turn.
It's outrageous. All these people. There's going to be a support group for people with small hands. We'll explain that coming up later in the program. It's 97.1 The Ticket. All right. BetMGM welcomes you to the special offer on the NBA. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game. If either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use the bonus code STONY200. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM reward points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps for rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. BetMGM is proud to be an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code STONY200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three-pointer. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Michigan only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Nika IBEW Local 58. Still not looking too bad on the drive this morning as things are pretty clear out there. Now coming up this weekend, 75 is scheduled to close southbound from Square Lake Road to 696 and northbound from 696 to 14 Mile. You can use Woodward instead. Put the expertise and skill of Nika Signatory Contractors and IBEW electricians to work on your commercial, public, industrial, or residential construction project. Productivity and innovation matter. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jensen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
This is Zach Gelb with Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by Bosch. See what matters most with Bosch Envision high-performance windshield wipers. Kenny Pickett's hands measured in at 8.5 inches. He would have the smallest hands out of any starting QB in the NFL. Really? Who cares? This is just another idiotic talking point from the NFL Combine. Who knows if Kenny Pickett will be a great QB or not, but if he isn't, it will have nothing to do with his hand size. I'm Zach Gelb.
You can rain out baseball. You can rain out tennis. You can rain out golf, but you can't rain out life. Sometimes, no matter how hard it's coming down, you've got to get in your car, brave the elements, and get to those who need you. That's why you need windshield wipers you can trust. You need Bosch Envision wipers. They handle the harshest weather so you can reach life's important moments. And right now, if you buy 2 Bosch Envision wipers at AutoZone, you can save $15 by mail and rebate. See what matters most with Bosch. Hi, my name's Joe Cordell. Sometimes in divorce, courts
Get
require
us
the
back
higher
onto
earner
Ryan
to pay
Road.
to the other party what's called spousal
Got
support or alimony. Usually this order can be modified in certain circumstances, but such modifications are often complicated
Good work.
and are best entrusted to attorneys that are well acquainted with such matters. At Cordell & Cordell, that's our business.
I was just making sure.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
My Friday nights usually spent down, but since my friends got Xfinity Internet, Friday nights are where it's at. Because Xfinity has Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig to power a house full of connected devices all at once. We got our show streaming, playlists bumping, and games galore. That's gig speed Wi-Fi for every great night in. Can your internet do that? Come on, y'all. The posters aren't just for decoration.
Now through March 7th, ask how to get a special offer of $200 back when you get gig speed internet. Or get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and Xfi gateway. Actual speeds vary.
And now, another stroke of genius from Genesis Credit Union. Today, Genius Auto Financing.
I'm no car expert, but to finance one, I don't have to be. With auto financing from Genesis Credit Union. Genesis gives me a great low rate on new, used, and refinanced auto loans because they look at more than just a credit score.
28 locations and 30,000 ATMs. Stop by or check us out at genesiscu.org.
That's genius.
That's Genesis. Terms and rates vary based on credit qualifications and other factors.
24 Seconds Bar and Grill in Berkeley, the best place for great food, great atmosphere, and great specials. This Saturday, UFC 272. Thursdays, trivia under the tent. Private parties under the tent available as well. And starting this month, back open for lunch on Thursday and Fridays. 24 Seconds. Grab a taste of the action.
Breaking news on 97.1 The Ticket is brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beard. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. Later in the broadcast, we'll get some combine information. Yesterday was the first day some of these guys worked out. You saw some speed, you saw some passes, all that type of stuff. And also, maybe some disturbing news concerning the Detroit Tigers and their plans. Explain that coming up as well. But John, you have some ticket text on Michigan State bubble-licious tonight.
I do. I'm disappointed in Coach Izzo saying that the team doesn't have any leadership amongst the players. It all comes down to him now if there's a fail. Wow, are Michigan and Michigan State bipolar? They beat quality teams one night, then get blown out the next. Neither team deserves to make the tournament, but both will, and neither will make it out of the first weekend. What a disappointing year for both. That's from Tim and Clarkston. It's the problem with Michigan and Michigan State was they played these games at night. Both played that game 7 times in their heads before they actually played. Gotta love her.
That's right.
Gotta love them. Could the Juwan Howard incident have any bearing on whatsoever on whether the Wolverines make the tournament if they are on the bubble?
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll have any.
No. I don't think it had any. You can sit there and say, well, Howard was coaching Tuesday, they would have lost to Michigan State. I don't think so. And some people might say, well, Howard was coaching yesterday, they might have won. No, they actually, maybe they should. Hunter Dickinson went to visit them. Maybe they should have done that. I don't know. No, it's going to have in my opinion, no bearing whatsoever whether they should make it or not. And I think it was Tim and Clarkson. He's right. Both teams were really disappointing. You look at where they were supposed to be before the season started. If you believe any of that stuff, Michigan obviously more disappointed. They were a top 5 team coming in with a great recruiting class.
Yeah.
And Michigan State's, except for the Kansas start, but they always start with the coaches that classic game. They got off to a great start. Maybe this team's really, really good, and then would have found its level.
It did. and it's disappointing. I don't know necessarily that either one is more disappointing than the other. If you're taking just the expectations at the beginning of the season, like you mentioned, then it would clearly be Michigan, except that Michigan State, as you go through the season, we've mentioned this in football, you reevaluate your expectations, and they were ranked as high as 10 at one point, and you felt like this was going to be a typical Izzo season where, hey, they're not getting any respect. Izzo doesn't care about the respect at the beginning of the year. Then all of a sudden, hey, come January, they start playing better. They're starting to move up in the polls. And then to end the way that they have since they were ranked 10th, to finish right now with 7 out of 9 of those last 9 games being losses, I think the expectations have changed, and the disappointment factor on both is got to be equally bad.
Oh, absolutely. And neither team is playing good basketball right now. And that, I think, is what's frustrating most of the fans of both schools, especially the Spartans. I mean, you got 7 out of 9. That ain't good enough at Michigan State.
No.
It's really not. And I know Michigan has had, maybe more success as far as getting to the national championship games more recently than Michigan State, but you're still looking at a school with 8 Final Four appearances, and they look nothing like a Final Four team. Now, I forget one of those years that they did make it, you might have thought the same thing. They just don't have the players that they had back then, I don't think. And I know it's a weird year, and anything can happen. I don't buy that for either Michigan or Michigan State. For Michigan to make any sort of run out of the first weekend, obviously, if they make it, it would be matchups, and somebody would have, besides Dickinson, would have to be really, really, get hot.
For them, it would be barely survive the first game, not play that great, but get out of it, and then play one like they did against Purdue or Michigan State, in the second round.
Yeah, well, Jerry Palm,
I would still, if I was an opponent, I would rather play Michigan State.
Well, Jerry Palm of CBS just dropped his latest bracket this morning at 5:45, and Michigan, Rutgers, and Indiana all first 4 out. Michigan State is an 8 seed, and he has them playing Marquette 8-9 matchup. And if they were to win that one, it looks like they would play Arizona in the second round.
Arizona's not great. See, that's why they'd be number 1. So yeah, you don't want to be an 8 seed.
The thing
so
is,
that would mean only 7 Big Ten teams would get under 6. It's all if Michigan, Indiana,
6.
Yeah, I mean, people were suggesting 9. I don't see. Wait, Indiana's played lately.
Yeah.
But wait, I don't see 9.
See, I think Lunardi has a little better handle on this than Jerry Palm. I think Palm sometimes breaks it down too scientifically, and Lunardi has a little bit of a feel for program power.
Yeah.
And, he's also leaving out North Carolina. Palm,
right.
To me, that's not happening. They're 22-8. They play Duke. They'll probably lose. They'll be 22-9. I just don't think it's 22-9.
And they hammered Michigan, so if you're going to go North Carolina or Michigan, you're going to maybe take North Carolina because they're head-to-head.
Exactly, but his last 4 in, think about this. Memphis, Florida, VCU, and Wake Forest. And then out. Michigan, North Carolina, Indiana.
Right,
You're putting them against each other. And Michigan's 32 net rankings, the best of those 8 teams there, when you actually play the Rutgers as well. Again, I think somebody yesterday or the day before, Michigan's net ranking, it would be unprecedented for them to miss the tournament, but I do think 16 and 15 is, if they lose out, it's so ugly.
It is. It's terrible, and it's a 500 record in the Big Ten. Now we did say
I believe that would be the worst at-large record to ever make the tournament.
16 and 15.
Yeah, I think there was a 16 and 14.
Well, I know that you can't get worse. By the way, looking at this Jerry Palm bracketology and seeing where we might be tracking to, we might be tracking to first 4 game Michigan versus Florida. The arch rivals meeting here.
Continue straight, then use the left lane to make a U-turn.
Oh, here's Ryan Road.
By the way,
So I know where we're going now. Got it.
with the worst record to make
Use
the
the left
NCAA
lane to make a
tournament.
U-turn. Then turn right onto
would
Ryan
be,
Road.
let's see here.
Well, not as an at-large, because sometimes
Yeah.
a team with a
Well, yeah, as an at-large, I think it was. I'm trying to decipher how they're doing this here. It looks like it was a Kentucky team. Hold on. I'll have it when we come back from the break. Have that answer for you.
All right. Also coming up, we're going to check out the combine, and there's something that took place at the combine.
At the light, use the right lane to turn onto Ryan Road.
The new thing. Is it the gloves? 97.1 ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit.
In 1.6 miles, turn right onto Chapman Drive.
An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by YC Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by U.S. Mattress. The Wolverines and Spartans having issues down the final stretch of the regular seasons. Michigan could not handle Iowa at home in their penultimate game, falling 82-71, and a letdown for acting head coach Phil Martelli.
I'm always disappointed on senior night. A senior would say, I want to go out feeling like a champion that particular night. So I'm disappointed that I was not able to deliver those seniors, not just the players, but those managers.
Wolverines have one game left on Sunday versus Ohio State before next week's Big Ten tournament. As for the Spartans, they just fell to OSU, cutting a 15-point deficit to just 2 in the second half before eventually succumbing to an 80-69 final score, their second straight loss, and giving up at least 80 points in 3 of their last 4 games. But a good finish for the Pistons on the road, 108-106 victory in Toronto. Cade Cunningham a block in the final seconds. The rookie with a 22-12-5 night leading the team. They'll complete their back-to-back tonight at home against the Pacers. And after their first minor league camp scrimmage yesterday, the Tigers will continue to split their squad for games this morning and tomorrow morning while the MLB lockout continues. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Telephone number 248-539-9797. Chris mentioned the Tigers' inter-squad minor leaguers that are working out. There's a story in the Athletic today. I'm disappointed. And I'll just read it to Evan Drellich, I believe is the author of this article.
Go past this light, then turn
four
right
Major League
onto
Baseball
Chapman Drive.
owners, Bob Castellini of the Reds, Ken Kendrick of the Diamondbacks, Marty Moreno of the Angels, and Chris Ilitch of the Tigers objected to raising the competitive balance tax to the levels the league ultimately proposed most recently. So in other words, in a compromise, or what they call a compromise, the owners said, well, it was at 210 and
Turn left onto Steel Drive.
$10 million.
Then the destination is on your right.
They raised it to up $10 million from where it was in 2021. They wanted to basically keep it the way it was.
Yeah.
In other words, make it even cheaper. Be even cheaper. Spend money. Come on, really? Am I reading this incorrectly here? Because a lot of the players were really pissed off when I heard about that. Because they talked about maybe implementing meal money too, that they were arguing about. That's incredible.
Well, and you start thinking about, okay, how do you attract players to your franchise? If this report is confirmed and it is true,
The destination is on
doesn't
your
make
right.
it easier for those 4 franchises
4031 Steel
to
Drive.
try and attract players. Now,
Arrived.
ultimately, it is what they will end up spending.
Right.
But if you're one of those owners that was against raising that the CBT, it definitely doesn't play in your favor.
All right. 248-539-9797. John